Hi, Ma Anand Sheela. Thanks for
Hello, how are you?
good. Thanks for coming to the Atman Show episode 20. As we discussed in last episode when we met, Ma Anand Sheela does not need any introduction. But yet, do you want to say something to my viewers of the Atman Show before we begin the interview?
I would say sit tight and enjoy.
Okay. All right. So today we will discuss about your book, by my own rules that you have written. And
Right,
so the first chapter is like you say that pain cannot be avoided, pain has to be endured. So you said that it is what helped me deal with the darkness of 39 months in prison that I served under a plea agreement with US government.
right. Now, can we move forward then the chapter of this darkness? Because through this darkness, I have managed to survive, go through it, and I have moved forward with it. So I am not suffering about this darkness, but the world is suffering. And I have no intention of spending more time on this theme.
You know.
So I think we have to tell our audience to move forward.
Sure. All right. Everybody deserves a second chance. So, and and like even if someone has done really bad things, you still think that everybody deserves a second chance. And feelings are connected with intuition for me. And intuition is a process of the heart. I always listen to my intuition. So basically, intuition is your heart, right? So you listen to your heart and not your mind.
That's right. When I have gut feeling, when I feel something, then I must listen to my heart, because heart is a direct contact to my soul. And for me, it is a clarity. And then with the clarity, I move forward.
Okay.
Anamika,
So again, at the first question, back to the first question, like, do you think that everybody deserves a second chance, even if someone has done very bad things to you?
everybody deserves a second chance. And I say everybody deserves first chance, second chance, third chance.
Oh,
I'm a bit generous in this manner.
yeah. It's like it's you are saying that, oh, somebody did something, then we say, okay, let's stop talking to that person. Let's not do like that, right? Just be
No, I mean, when somebody's talking and talking nonsense, then I don't have to justify. I don't have to support that kinds of useless nonsense.
yeah. Okay. All right. So you said that build your life on love, patience, and acceptance. All disease has its roots in isolation and loneliness and lack of love. Where there is love, which fosters patience and acceptance, there is bliss. Means like your work, through your work, you give love and company to the people who are lonely, right?
I live a life with people who have never received love in their life, or they have been deprived of company through their life setting. And for me, I help them to come out of their isolation. I help them to motivate to acceptance of a situation that they are in or they may be in.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to accept life as it comes. So I really was moved by you said that I successfully launched a company and named it Anuja Impex. I ran it from my house in the afternoon. The risk I took in purchasing the fax machine paid off many times over. Now want to be a victim of my I did not want to be a victim of my circumstances and learn from all the situation. He would say, no one forced me to be with Bhagwan. No one forced me to leave Bhagwan. It was my choice. Now I had to face the consequence without complaining. Like, it's like whatever situation you are in, face it and face it with courage, right? That's what you.
Only. That is the only way you can be above the situation. You can remain objective then and move forward. I feel this life is so precious and you have to make most of it. To make most of it, you have to come out of the feeling of victim. When you consider yourself a victim, then you don't look for solution. Then you have accepted morbid way of lifestyle. Oh, I am suffering. And I don't want to do that. I also do not want to accuse others of my situation or pass the buck to somebody else. Whatever it is, I must walk through it.
Yeah.
And walk through it with face up.
Yeah, very encouraging. All right, let's move on to something little bit controversial. That's always um, attached with Ma Anand Sheela. So our
It's normal.
okay, our sexuality is attached to our ego. Sexuality guided by ego and domination becomes offensive for both parties. One must have the courage to say no in all relationship, in all situation. You must express yourself and say no if you do not wish to participate in sexual activity with your partner. It is your right to deny it. Compromise will only make things worse for you and partner. Such compromises can bring deep depression, anger, and hate because you're going against your instinct and intuition. So, and it applies to not only sex, but also the same principle with regards to your feelings as well. But this like society is like, say, supposing if you are in a relationship, so you'll have to please the other partner, and whether it is just to make peace and harmony in your house. So how do you deal with all those things? Yeah.
By tolerating things that don't function, you are automatically destroying your peace and harmony.
Okay.
To have peace and harmony, you have to begin with yourself. And you can only be in peace and harmony when you don't feel your feelings are being violated, or your feelings are being ignored, or you are doing that as a victim to maintain the outer peace in the household.
Mm.
So peace and quiet begins from the self, and then it reflects on the others. It may be difficult. Your partner may not accept it, but then one has to say, too bad. But I am not going to compromise, because freedom is my first fundamental right. And one should be able to exercise free life freedom in one's daily lifestyle.
Okay. Every single day.
Every single moment.
Okay. Yeah. So, what you say is that make new mistakes every day instead of repeating the same mistake. So, like, no one gets punished or even fired for making mistakes. Instead, I make sure to help my team resolve those mistakes. As my father used to say, every mistake can be a stepping stone for a new understanding. My mantra for my team is to make new mistakes every day instead of repeating the same mistakes. So it is also, this can also be helpful in a corporate world as well, right?
It has to,
Okay.
because what is in corporate world, you have number of people who are board of directors
Mm.
or in higher position of CEOs. They each have their egos sky high.
Exactly.
And they think they are the picture of perfection. And it is their God-given right to look down upon the team who supports their sky-high ego.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, it is the team's efforts that you are a CEO. If you have no team, you don't need to be a CEO.
That's correct.
So you must respect the team and recognize they are doing menial work for you to make you look good. And if you don't take care of your team, how are you going to take care of your company?
That's correct.
Your company is offering an opportunity for you to become rich. Equally, it is your team is helping you at a much lower level of income so that you can become rich. So please, if you are in position of guiding people, if you are in position of management, then bear in mind, first think of your team, then think of yourself.
That's correct. So I have a question, Ma Anand Sheela, like, Supposing you have a boss and he's very controlling, and obviously you report to him, you have to do what he says. So how do you deal with that situation? If he's very controlling and very micromanaging, so how to deal with that?
It is necessary for the growth of the company that your boss, I put it in inverted commas, your boss has the responsibility of running a company, making sure that your products, whatever they may be, are properly presented, properly produced, and all that goes in maintenance of a growth of the company. Some people may manipulate their power
Yeah.
with their micro management to show that they are the authority because they are unsure of themselves. If they were sure that their team functions well, then they need not micromanagement. So it shows the team, the weakness of the boss, and then there will be more problems. So instead of going after micromanagement, go with a little bit of trust towards your team.
Yeah.
You will have better results.
Yeah. So, okay. I just want to ask you one more thing. Never forget your roots. What should we do to not forget our roots? See, we basically belong to the Indian subcontinent, but we either come to US or Switzerland or any part of the world. So, but we should never forget our roots. And then the kids are born here, and we should also teach them the culture and all. So, what should we do so that we should never forget our roots, according to you?
You don't forget where you come from. If you forget, then you were never there. Many people I have seen are so charmed by the Western world that they imitate. And their imitation is so laughable and obvious that they become a laughing stock. And what is wrong with the roots we come from? Remembering where you come from will help you solve many conflicts. If you may be a big CEO and you remember your roots, then you will have sympathy towards your team who comes from poorer background. You will develop a compassion in you. Instead, you go for arrogance, and arrogance will destroy you. So For me, I'm proud of my roots. I say, yeah, I was born in India.
Yeah.
I studied in USA. And now I'm enjoying Switzerland.
Mm.
And I take good qualities from all three and ornate myself with all these three places quality. So to answer your question, it is impossible to remember where you come from. Yeah, you move from one culture to another. But when we are born in India, lived in India for a few years, we don't forget our parents and we don't forget dal and rice.
Like I have seen some people, right, oh, I haven't gone to India for 13 years, and they have, married some Westerners, and like, oh, this India is so dirty, India is so backward. I said, you came from, some people, they feel proud in, talking negative about India. Like, what do you say about them? I get really annoyed.
These people who talk negative about India or any other place, they talk negative about themselves.
Hmm.
I went to India after 35 years for reasons of my own that I had not opportunity to return back. And I noticed the dirtiness of Indian cities. And my first thought, what can I do to help to clean up India?
Yeah.
That was my first thing, not that, oh, India is so dirty and I don't have to come here.
Exactly. Very true.
How can I help to draw my attention to this dirt, this filth? I came up with a little idea. I spoke about it also to the audience that was interviewing me. And I said, if we all take 5 or 10 minutes of our time from our telephones and computers,
Very true.
go out on the street of the building with an empty plastic bag and pick up whatever filth you see, we can clean up this land very quickly. Of course, nobody has accepted this. But when I get down to concrete idea, I'll make sure that we do something about it.
Yeah, we can do it together. And, you can also involve me as well if you have some ideas.
Thank you, Anamika. I will do so.
Okay.
I will do so.
Okay. All right. So I have this one thing that you had written. I really liked it. I am who I am, fully comfortable in my skin. That is what is important to me. I do not need anyone's approval of my character, not from Bhagwan, his people, or the media. The question is not how I deal with it, but how they live with it. just to assassinate someone's character without knowing the truth is unfair. As for me, I remain untouched by it. I have learned and I continue to learn every day of my life. So, you will always hear like people assassinating your character behind your back. And so you are saying that sometimes you get worried, but most of the time you shouldn't be getting worried. You know who you are.
That's right. I don't get worried.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to a point that what others' criticism of me is equivalent to their praises of me. Their praises don't have any value, and their criticism also have no value, because I know who you are. And I like to live with myself. I am my best friend. If I make a mistake, I reflect and correct it. I pay attention to myself. I don't need anyone else's attention.
So one thing I
I
just
don't.
yeah, if you are like very independent and you should have you should enjoy your own company, don't you think that sometime down the line you may feel loneliness and then you need a company, and somewhere you have that is when you somewhere you have to compromise. What is this, like what is the balance between individuality and companionship?
Individuality is your inner character and strength. When you feel that you are an individual and you exercise your freedom of who you are, you don't feel lonely.
Oh, okay.
But if you pretend to be an individual to please and maintain the peace, then you will feel lonely, because you become dependent on others' approval.
That's correct.
We don't require approval. And as long as you require approval of your person, you're going to be unhappy. Because people who want to say, you are wonderful, they are saying from their perspective, not from your perspective.
Exactly.
It is their projection on you. And when somebody projects on you, they disrespect you as an individual. So it is very, very important to know yourself and don't pretend to be what you are not.
Definitely. It creates more stress.
Right.
So I just want to ask one thing, like, you always say that you have love for Osho. So, but then you were also married to Chinmaya. So which love was greater?
Oh, I was married not just to Chinmaya,
Ah,
I was married to Deepo,
okay.
and I had few other lovers too.
Okay.
Love does not negate the other lovers. It is our habit of possession that negates the other lover.
So, but the society doesn't accept that you can have multiple lovers.
Exactly, exactly. And
It's like,
that's
oh,
where I say to the world,
uh,
I don't need your help in picking out my lovers or how I live my love life. It's my personal thing,
yeah.
and I do it.
Hmm.
And for now, so many years, I live without a lover. And I have no need for lover because I have had so many of them.
That's true. That's true. I know. So, one thing I just want to ask, like, see, you said that Osho's teaching really helped you in the darker days, and then
Yes.
it was you got the dark days because of Osho. So, how do you do you have any negative feelings, or how do you deal with it? Like, because of some person, you are in a dark day, but that dark days is helping you because of the teachings of that person. So, how do you say that? Yeah.
That only says, I thank Bhagwan
Mm.
for both dark days and his teachings. You learn much easier when you are in crisis.
Okay.
And everybody avoids crisis.
Yeah. Everybody avoid crisis, and they are just running away from their own self to avoid crisis.
Right. And Bhagwan created a situation for me where I had to walk through it or go broke in it. But I proved his teaching 100% valuable by walking through it.
Yeah.
So it is a tribute to Bhagwan and his teachings that I was able to walk through the dark days.
All right, Ma Anand Sheela, like before we end the show, I want you to tell at least two teachings of Osho that has really affected your life. Top two or top three, however you want, so that our viewers also can be benefited, and including me. Mm.
One important lesson: choice is ours. I tell you a beautiful story. I often remember that Bhagwan had introduced to me. A samurai goes to a Zen master. He was a big samurai. And he says to Zen master, show me the gates of heaven so I can enter, and show me the gates of hell so I can avoid. Instead of giving an answer, Zen master started screaming at samurai with verbal abuse. And then the samurai pulls his sword out of his sheath, and Zen master says, here open the gates of hell. He was an intelligent samurai. He puts his sword back in his sheath. And Zen master says, here opens the gates of heaven. Choice is our what we choose. If we choose misery, then gates of hell. If we choose love, trust, respect, gates of heaven. If you choose anger, you have lost it. There's no possibility to think of the doors of heaven and hell. But if you choose understanding, then gates of friendship opens, gates of heaven opens. So today I say this one story can revolutionize your being, your life, your lifestyle. And we can end it here today.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ma Anand Sheela. And I really enjoyed this session. And good luck and have a nice day.
You too. I enjoyed it also very much, this session, because it gives many keys for people to look within themselves and reflect.
Okay.
Thank you, Anamika, and I hope you have great reviews for your podcast.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to log out.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.